Okay, so we're still writing equations for applications. These we're going to write our final answer in standard form. And I do think most of the time the standard form ones are actually easier than the slope-intercept forms. At least I would say the kids tend to find it easier. I find when I'm grading that they tend to find it easier. So let's just talk about this one. Josh bought 3 bags of potting soil, and he brought 10 bags of mulch from Home Depot. And the question is, we want to find the total cost, and we need to define our variables again. And so if you go buy 3 bags of potting soil and you want to know how much it costs, well, what you need to know is the cost per bag, right? And so what we're going to define then, let's see what letters. We'll do P for potting soil. And guys, as I've told you before, you need to be specific about it because it's not just potting soil. It is the cost, potting soil cost per bag. Okay? How much one bag costs. You could put that in. One bag, what cost of one bag of potting soil. Something to define that it's how much each one cost. And then I am going to use M for mulch cost per bag. Okay? So if you think about it, if I buy 2 bags of potting soil, or 3 bags, of potting soil, I would take the 3 times the cost per bag, right? So my equation here is 3 times the cost per bag plus 10 times the cost per bag of the mulch. And this is going to give me my total cost, and we could let whatever we want it to be, T or C or whatever. I'll just put C for cost. I like using C. Okay? So we should identify that also. So C is total cost. Okay? So any variable that you use, you need to identify. Now, if I was doing this one in function notation, guys, what you would see might be PM on there because you've got 2 variables. Okay? That would be one. The other way is sometimes they will just use the one variable on there, but we don't put this one in function notation as much as we do the slope-intercept. So let's go ahead and just look what we got here. So it says that Josh spent $40.91, and we do know the cost of mulch is $2.25 per bag. We want to know how much, or the cost per bag of potting soil. So again, I've got everything defined over there. So when I go to put my equation, 3, and P is the cost of potting soil. Do I know that? No, that's what I'm looking for, okay? Plus 10 times M, which is the cost of mulch per bag. I do know that. That is $2.75. Equals the total cost, which I do know, which is $40.91. Okay? And now I have an equation to solve. I don't need my calculator for this because I can multiply by 10 in my head. Sorry, get my decimal though in the right spot. It's like, whoa, can't figure it out. Lost my decimal. Don't do that. Okay, and then go ahead and solve it. So 3P, oh, can I do that in my head? 4, 3, whoops, I ran into that. Let me erase that so you can read it. So again, 1, 4, and 3, and I borrowed, didn't I? There we go. So 1 left. Okay, and then divide by 3. So P equals that. I am going to run a calculator on just real quick. So we've got 1341, 13.41 divided by 3 is $4.47. Okay, per bag. Okay, and so how much was the potting soil? Again, potting soil is $4.47 per bag. I guess I didn't need to write it down below, but there's your answer. Okay, so just like the story problems we've done before, you are going to need to identify your variables and then write your equation. So next one, Kaylee collects quarters and nickels. So write an equation that will represent the total value. So again, I'm going to go Q is quarters, N is nickels, and this is number of, I should have put that there. So number, okay, number of. I usually put it out in front, but we'll just put it there. And then we want to know, again, the total value. Okay? Now, write an equation. Now, so you got to remember, anytime you do a coin problem, you've got to remember the value of coins. So remember, quarters are 25 cents, nickels are 5 cents. Now, you can do this one of two ways. One would be to put in 25 quarters plus 05 nickels equals the total. That would be one way. Or you can put in just 25Q plus 5N equals the total. The key here is to remember when you go over to the total, you took the decimals out. So instead of 550, you want 550. So either way, it doesn't matter. Okay, so the next one says if the total value, total is 550, and she has 17 quarters, how many nickels? So I'm just going to read through my equation, and I'm going to use the bottom one because that's my preference. So 25 times the number of quarters, do I know that? Yes, I do. It's 17 plus 5 times the number of nickels. Do I know that? No, that's what I'm looking for. Equals the 550, and again, since I took my decimals out, I'm going to write it as 550. So you've just got to be sure you remember that if you take your decimals out. So either way works for me. I don't care. It's whatever you feel more comfortable with. So let's multiply. So that is 425 plus 5N equals 550. We're going to go ahead and subtract. $125, I could have done that in my head. Divide by 5. So N equals 25. Okay? And so the question says, how many nickels does she have? So Kaylee has 25 nickels. Final answer. Okay. And again, you can think about it. Do you think these are easier than the ones we did before? Yes or no on there? Okay, so we'll continue on and finish these up